This is the way it feels to move through summer in Lululemon. Iconic Align softness without the front seam. For our smoothest look and feel ever, summer won't know what hit it. Stretch your limits in the non-stop flexibility of the new Lululemon Align No-Line Pant in select stores and at Lululemon.com.
With a Venmo debit card, you can Venmo more than just your friends. You can use your balance in so many ways. You can Venmo everything. Need gas? You can Venmo this. How about snacks? You can Venmo that. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more.
You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo.
The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
This is Optimal Health Daily. Is skipping breakfast good for weight loss? What the Science Says, by Christian Finn of MuscleEvo.net. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Hey there, welcome to a Thursday edition of Optimal Health Daily. Remember, this is one of a few shows where we read to you from blogs for free, so that you don't have to read them yourself. Except on Fridays, that's where I answer your questions. But with that, let's keep this intro nice and short and get right to today's post as we optimize your life. Is skipping breakfast good for weight loss? What the Science Says, by Christian Finn of MuscleEvo.net. For years, we've been told that skipping breakfast is a bad idea. Breakfast is supposed to stoke your metabolism so that you burn more calories throughout the day. Without it, your stress hormones will skyrocket, your muscles will waste away, and you increase your risk for diabetes and heart disease. Is breakfast really the most important meal of the day? Or will you do just as well without it? Should I skip breakfast? If I was trying to sell you on the importance of breakfast, here's how I'd go about it. First, I would mention the observational study showing that people skipping breakfast tend to weigh more than those who don't. In a 2013 study, researchers found that participants who ate breakfast every day gained less weight than those who didn't. They also reduced their risk of a spectrum of metabolic conditions, including cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Next, I would tell you about the research that shows tapering down your calorie intake, eating breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper leads to a faster rate of weight loss. In one such study, researchers assigned a set of overweight and obese subjects to one of two groups. Both groups ate the same number of calories per day, but with one key difference. The first group ate progressively smaller meals over the course of the day. Breakfast contained 700 calories, lunch 500 calories, and dinner just 200 calories. The second group did the exact opposite. They ate a small breakfast and a large dinner. After 12 weeks, the big breakfast group lost, on average, 20 pounds of body weight. Subjects eating a small breakfast and a large dinner lost just 8 pounds. If Kellogg's were paying me a vast amount of money to persuade you that breakfast was indeed the most important meal of the day, I'd stop there. But that would mean ignoring all the research showing that breakfast is nowhere near as important as we've been led to believe. What happens to your body if you skip breakfast? It's true that those who skip breakfast are on average holding on to more body fat than those who don't. But this has less to do with breakfast itself than it does with a lifestyle that lends itself to overeating and a lack of physical activity. Researchers from the University of Bath write, quote, "Epidemiology has consistently associated infrequent breakfast consumption with increased risk of adiposity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Yet these findings do not infer causality because habitual breakfast consumers also tend to be non-smokers, consume less fat and alcohol, but more fiber and micronutrients, and critically are more physically active. It therefore remains to be established whether daily breakfast is a cause, an effect, or simply a marker of a healthy lifestyle." End quote. You might, for instance, observe that cars with a Ferrari badge go a lot faster than most other cars without a Ferrari badge. But that has less to do with the badge than it does with the massive engine sat under the bonnet. Likewise, most studies that show a link between breakfast and weight loss are observational in nature. They might show a connection between eating breakfast and a reduced risk of weight gain. What they don't show is that one causes the other. Is skipping breakfast good for weight loss? A number of controlled trials have tested the proposed link between breakfast and weight loss. All show much the same thing. Skipping breakfast doesn't have a great deal of impact on your ability to lose weight one way or the other. Back in 1992, scientists from Vanderbilt University found that people who normally ate breakfast lost more weight when they were told to skip it, and those who normally skipped breakfast lost more weight when they ate breakfast. Overall, the findings show no effective eating versus skipping breakfast. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows similar results. Subjects eating breakfast lost no more weight than those who didn't. Study author David Allison says, quote, "Our simple question was, when it comes to weight loss, does it help to eat breakfast? And the answer seems to be probably not." End quote. As part of the Bath Breakfast Project, researchers from the University of Bath assigned participants to a fasting group and a breakfast group. After 6 weeks, nothing much happened. People who ate breakfast were more active throughout the day, but all they were doing was burning off some of the calories they'd eaten for breakfast. The extra physical activity didn't lead to any weight being lost. Breakfast had no impact on resting metabolism, nor did it lead to a meaningful suppression of calorie intake later in the day. Thyroid hormones that regulate resting metabolic rate were not adversely affected by fasting. Also, there was no difference in a range of hormones involved in appetite control. From study author Anand Chaudhary, quote, "The common conception that breakfast may facilitate weight management by kick-starting metabolism was not evident at all in our results, with resting metabolic rate stable within just 11 calories per day from the start to the end of the intervention in both groups." End quote. Breakfast and appetite. Depriving people of breakfast can mean they end up eating more at lunch, but those additional calories don't compensate entirely for the calories they missed at breakfast. By the end of the day, the breakfast skippers still ate fewer calories overall. Other studies fail to show that skipping breakfast leads to an increase in calorie intake at lunch or increased appetite during the afternoon. Researchers at Brigham Young University took a group of women who don't normally eat breakfast and split them into two groups, breakfast eaters and non-breakfast eaters. Breakfast eaters were told to eat at least 15% of their calories for the day before 8:30 a.m. Non-breakfast eaters didn't eat anything until after 11:30 a.m. On average, the breakfast eaters ended up consuming an extra 266 calories per day. As a result, they gained 1.5 pounds or about 0.7 kilograms during the 4-week study. The people eating breakfast didn't end up eating less at lunch or dinner, nor did they increase their physical activity to compensate for the extra calories eaten. Getting non-breakfast eaters to eat breakfast simply led to them eating more and gaining weight. Interestingly, skipping breakfast and then exercising in a fasted state has been shown to reduce daily calorie intake, and this drop in calorie intake didn't come solely from breakfast. Subjects also ate less later in the day. The researcher said, quote, "What we did not expect to find was that when participants fasted, they also consumed less energy during their evening meals and snacks compared to the days when they ate breakfast. The reduced 24-hour energy intake on fasting days was not only due to the fact that breakfast was skipped, but also due to a decreased energy intake at night." End quote. Summary: should I skip breakfast? The bottom line is that skipping breakfast does not automatically increase your risk of weight gain, nor do people who eat breakfast end up losing more weight more quickly than those who don't. It all comes down to individual preferences and what works for you. If you find that skipping breakfast leaves you hungry, tired, and unable to concentrate, then don't skip breakfast. But if breakfast isn't your thing, or you don't get peckish until the afternoon, there's nothing wrong with starting the day with a cup of coffee and little else. It's not something that will make or break your diet. You just listened to the post titled, "Is Skipping Breakfast Good for Weight Loss? What the Science Says" by Christian Finn of muscleevo.net, and I'll be right back with my commentary.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength.
Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
Delicious, meet nutritious. Get snackin' and get crackin' with the snack that packs a protein punch. Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, it's a complete protein, providing all 9 essential amino acids. Pistachios are known for their protein power, fiber, and better-for-you unsaturated fats for a combination that may help keep you feeling fuller longer. And Wonderful Pistachios' new product, Unsalted No Shells, holds the salt but not the flavor in a snack that packs a protein punch. Whether you're looking for a protein pick-me-up or a tasty late-night treat, Wonderful Pistachios are the everyday go-to snack nut. There are plenty of flavors and sizes, perfect for enjoying with family and friends or taking them with you on the go, whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids. Get snacking today. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Dr. Neil here for my commentary. When I was growing up, skipping breakfast was considered a big no-no. If you didn't eat breakfast, you wouldn't be able to concentrate in class and your grades would suffer. When I started college, I was sleeping in until the late morning, well, let's be honest, until early afternoon most days, and that meant breakfast was definitely skipped most days. When I started my master's and doctoral programs, research studies started to show a relationship between skipping breakfast, weight gain, and even other chronic diseases like heart disease. Then other studies came out that showed skipping breakfast may not be such a big deal. Then I have patients and students that tell me they don't like eating breakfast, and when they force themselves to eat something first thing in the morning, they feel sick, or they end up feeling even hungrier throughout the day. So what are we supposed to do? Well, I would agree with today's author, Christian. Christian said, find what works best for you. It may not be helpful to force yourself to eat breakfast if you don't feel your best afterwards. But if you find that by skipping breakfast you feel starved and can't concentrate or perform at your best, then consider eating something nutritious that will help fuel you. It doesn't have to be a big meal like 2 eggs with an English muffin and 2 slices of turkey bacon on the side. It can be something as simple as half a banana or a little bit of Greek yogurt. At the very least, I encourage everyone to at least hydrate and drink some water first thing. But other than that, experiment and find what works best for you. All right, that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a subscriber or follower of the show. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another Friday Q&A and where your optimal life awaits.